When I tell people I found out my wife was cheating because of a FaceTime but dial, they think I'm joking. But that moment changed everything I thought I knew about loyalty, love, and myself. My name's Ethan Walker, I'm 36, and for the longest time, I believed my marriage to Hannah was solid. We met in college, built a life together, even survived years of financial struggle. I thought that kind of history meant something. Turns out it didn't mean much at all. It started subtly. Late-night texts, she said, were from coworkers. A sudden interest in solo gym sessions. Longer hours at work, new perfume, new clothes. I wanted to believe her because that's what trust looks like, right? You believe your partner until they give you a reason not to. Except, by the time the reason arrived, it came through my phone, not her. That night, I was on the couch finishing some paperwork. Hannah said she was going out with the girls after work. I remember joking, "Don't get too wild." And she gave me that distracted smile she'd been perfecting lately. The kind that didn't reach her eyes. She kissed my cheek and left, heels clicking down the hallway like punctuation marks on a sentence I didn't understand yet. Around 9:30, my phone buzzed. It was a FaceTime call from Hannah. I answered with a grin, ready to tease her about drunk dancing or maybe a funny moment from the night. But when the screen lit up, it wasn't her face. The camera was angled weirdly, half pointing at a ceiling, half at shadows moving. There was laughter, muffled voices, and then her voice. Not the sweet, polite Hannah I knew. This was different, lower, breathier, teasing. I froze, watching as she said, "You better make it worth me skipping girls' night." Then a man laughed. That laugh still echoes in my head sometimes. I didn't move, didn't speak. I think my mind just shut down for a second, trying to convince me I was misunderstanding. And then she said it, "You're so much better than him." My throat went dry. I don't even remember breathing. The noise on the call shifted. Clothes rustling, her whispering his name. That's when my instincts kicked in. My thumb trembled as I unmuted myself and said, calmly, "Hi, Hannah." There was silence. Total, perfect silence. Then chaos. The camera jolted, the phone dropped, and I heard her gasp. The call ended. I just sat there, staring at my reflection on the black screen. My hands were shaking, my heart pounding so loud I could hear it. I think I laughed, but it wasn't real laughter. More like disbelief bleeding through shock. Within minutes, she was calling back. I didn't answer. She texted, "It's not what it sounded like." The irony almost made me sick. I turned off my phone and sat there in the quiet, the kind that only exists after truth detonates in your life. By the time she came home, I'd had 3 hours to replay everything in my head. Every late night, every new excuse. I wasn't angry. Not yet. Just hollow. She walked in trying to look normal, but her face gave her away. She knew I knew. "Ethan, I can explain," she said, voice trembling. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I didn't recognize the woman standing in front of me. She was wearing the same perfume, the same lipstick, but she wasn't my Hannah anymore. "Explain what?" I asked quietly. "How you accidentally called your husband while cheating on him." Her lips parted, no sound came out. For once, she had no script. I stood up, walked past her, and said, "I'm going to bed. Tomorrow we talk." Not tonight. That night I didn't sleep. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how love can vanish without notice, how trust can crumble in seconds, and how even silence can feel deafening when the person beside you isn't who you thought they were. Morning came like punishment, slow, gray, and heavy. Hannah was already awake, sitting at the edge of the bed with her phone in her hands, staring at nothing. She didn't even look up when I got dressed. For a second, I almost pitied her. Almost. When I finally spoke, my voice was calm. Too calm, maybe. "So, who is he?" Her shoulders tensed. "Ethan, please. It's not like that." I laughed softly. "Then what's it like? You said he was better than me." Was that a motivational quote? She flinched. That told me more than any confession could. She tried reaching for my hand, but I stepped back. That small movement seemed to break something in her. Tears started rolling down her face, but I'd seen enough movies to know what came next. Denial, half-truths. Guilt playing dress-up as love. I messed up, she whispered. No, I said. You made a choice. You just didn't expect to get caught mid-performance. For a moment, she said nothing. Then came the excuses. How she'd been lonely. How I'd been distant. How she didn't mean for it to happen. Every word was a knife coated in sugar. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. Instead, I walked to my desk, opened my laptop, and started typing. She blinked, confused. What are you doing? Writing an email to my lawyer, I said without looking up. That's when panic hit her. Ethan, please, it was one mistake. One that started weeks ago, I replied. Mistakes don't have schedules. Her sobs filled the room, but it didn't move me. Maybe it was shock, or maybe I'd already mourned the marriage the night before. I just felt finished. When she realized tears weren't working, she switched tactics. Can we at least talk before you do anything drastic? Please. I nodded. Sure. Talk. She hesitated, searching for something that might save her. It didn't mean anything. I was stupid. I just wanted attention. You had mine, I said quietly. You just stopped wanting it. She looked away then, and that was the first honest thing she'd done in months. I walked out before she could say anything else. Drove until I found myself at the coffee shop we used to go to every Sunday. The same one where we planned our future, laughed about bills, dreamed about trips we never took. Sitting there alone, I realized how much of my identity had been wrapped around us, and how quickly us could turn into me. By noon, she texted me paragraphs, apologies, explanations, promises. I didn't reply. Instead, I forwarded everything to my attorney. I wasn't being cruel. I was being clear. That evening, she came by my office, mascara smudged, eyes swollen. She placed her wedding ring on the desk and whispered, "You're really doing this?" "I'm not," I said. "You did." She nodded slowly, like the truth finally landed. "You won't even try to forgive me?" I met her eyes. "You didn't trip and fall into someone else's arms, Hannah. You built a bridge and crossed it. Forgiveness doesn't rebuild that." There was a long silence. Then she turned and left without another word. The door clicked shut softly, but it felt like a gunshot. Weeks passed. The papers were signed, the house sold, and I moved into a smaller apartment across town. It wasn't much, but it was peaceful. No tension, no lies, just quiet, the kind that doesn't hurt anymore. Sometimes, I'd still get a notification from her number. Once, she sent a photo of us from years ago, captioned, "I miss who we were." I stared at it for a while, then deleted it. Because the truth was, I missed who I thought we were, not who we really were. The night she dialed me, she didn't just expose an affair. She ended a version of me that tolerated being half-loved. Now, when people ask if I'm bitter, I tell them no. I'm grateful, because sometimes betrayal isn't the end of your story. It's just the part where you finally start writing it yourself. And when I think about her reaction, the shock in her voice when she heard me say, "Hi, Hannah," I realized that moment wasn't about catching her. It was about waking up. She froze. I moved on.